Hi again, I'm Dr. Joni. Let's talk. Let's talk today about an educational advocate. Some of you may have heard that term used before, particularly if you're struggling to get the support that your child needs in the educational environment. So what is an educational advocate and where can I find one, you may ask? All right, let's try to break this down. An educational advocate is anyone who understands the educational system better than you do, period. It may be a friend who's had to navigate the educational system for their child. It may be an attorney. It may be a trained educational advocate. It may be someone that's, if you're in the military system, it may be an educational liaison, someone who works between the parents and the schools. Again, it's somebody who understands state law, federal law, with respect to the disability that your child has and can help you to navigate that system. Now, there are different levels of advocates. Sometimes you just need an advocate to sit next to you, to be that support for you during those student support team meetings. Parents have said to me all the time, it's like being on a firing squad where you're sitting on one side of the table and there are 6 or 7 folks from the school sitting on the other side of the table. And you as a parent feel very much ganged up on and you don't feel like your needs or your concerns are being heard. So sometimes you just need that support. An educational advocate can provide that support. Sometimes you as a parent, you understand the system, you know the laws, but you just feel frustrated and tired and just feel that you shouldn't have to be the parent and the advocate too. So sometimes, again, you just need somebody who knows as much as you do to be there to do all the talking. Now, as we've said, there are different levels. So those are your lowest level of educational advocates. As you move up with what your needs are, you're going to find someone who has maybe more experience or more training. Now, some of your educational advocates have been through training programs, either with your state or with educational attorneys to learn the ins and outs. In some cases, your educational advocate is self-trained. They've just taken the time to learn the information on their own. I will tell you that if you're going to pay for an educational advocate, you want somebody who is trained, has more knowledge than you do, and has done this work before. Now, let's talk about using an attorney as an educational advocate. What you need to realize is when you come into the school with an advocate, no matter what level they are, whether they're a friend who's serving as an advocate or whether they're an attorney who's serving as your advocate, that's going to be viewed by your school to be a higher level. Many schools see parents who bring in an advocate as that parent trying to legally get that school for not doing what they're supposed to do. Sometimes it can become very adversarial once you bring an advocate into the picture. The key to remember is that you and the school have the same objective. I'm going to say that again. You and the school have the same objective. You are on the same team. You are on Team Your Child. Insert your child's name, okay? You are all there to ensure that your child learns what they need to learn educationally, that they are successful, and that they are able to go on and do other things after high school graduation. Other things may mean getting a job, it may mean going to college. Who knows? But you want to have that opportunity available to them. So you're on the same team. When you go to select your advocate, you want to select somebody that's going to allow you to continue to be on that same team. If you just have questions in the school, you're not sure, you just want somebody who knows the rules, you may want to have a friend go with you or an advocate who is at a lower level. If you really feel that your rights are being violated, that you're about to take legal action, that the school just is not doing what they need to do to support your child, when you feel you're not on the same team, that may be when you need to call in the attorney. I always suggest, though, start at your lowest level and work higher. If you come right into that meeting with an educational attorney, trust and believe that that school is going to bring their attorney to that meeting as well. And no offense to the attorneys out there, but once we get 2 attorneys in the room, oftentimes we lose sight of the person we're really there to help. It all becomes about winning and sometimes it's your student that's going to lose. How do you find that educational advocate? Now, that's a harder question. Every community is different. I recommend that you Google. Now, if your child already has a diagnosis, let's say they have autism, you can go to the Autism Speaks website. They have tons of resources there, and you just might be able to find an educational advocate through the Autism Speaks website. The same goes for your child who has autism. ADHD, or who might have an emotional disability like anxiety or depression. If you go to the national websites for those diagnoses, you might find nationwide resources on those sites that might help you to locate an educational advocate. The other thing that you may want to do is reach out to the Parent Resource Center in your community. The Parent Resource Centers may very well be in tune to the educational advocates that service your community. If all else fails, go to the PTA, Parent and Teacher Association, or any parent support groups in your area. Trust me, they will know where to find an educational advocate, and they will allow you to get some information as to which one is a good one, which one is affordable, and which one really is going to be able to support your child's diagnosis. The last point I will tell you about an educational advocate: if they do not take the time to meet your child, they are not the advocate for you. There is no way an advocate can truly go into the school system and advocate for a child that they don't even know. Just a little thing to take into consideration. If that advocate doesn't say, well, let me spend some time with your child, let me understand them a little bit better, you might be wasting your money, okay? There are some really good advocates out there who care. They need to speak from the heart, but more importantly, they need to understand your child and your child's needs and not advocate generically. They're called individual education plans for a reason, and your advocate needs to know your individual. Hopefully I answered your questions. If this has sparked more questions that I have not even touched upon, do not hesitate to go to the Contact Me portion of this app and shoot me a question specific for you. Give me 30 days and you'll see it up on the app. Take care, and we'll talk soon.